All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are unlocking one of the wine world's biggest and best kept secrets. We're going to take a trip right into the heart of Burgundy, to a place that has all the magic you're looking for, but, without that absolutely crazy price tag. I'm talking about the Côte Chalonnaise. So let me ask you something. You love Burgundy, but you don't love the price, right? Yeah, I think we've all been there. You're craving that perfect, elegant Pinot Noir, or maybe a super crisp, minerally Chardonnay. But then you look at the price of a bottle from, say, the famous Côte d'Or, and ouch, your wallet just screams. It's a classic problem for anyone who loves wine. But what if I told you there's a way around that? A kind of secret door. A door that leads to real, authentic, terroir-driven Burgundy that you can actually afford to drink on a Tuesday night. Well, guess what? That door exists, and today we're going to open it. All right, let's get into the Burgundy dilemma. To really get why this secret is so good, we first have to talk about the problem. Why is Burgundy so darn exclusive in the first place? Well, it really boils down to two things: prestige and pressure. You've got the super famous Côte d'Or, right, with its legendary Grand Cru and Premier Cru vineyards. And that comes with a heavy, and I mean heavy, reputation tax. We're talking centuries of history, all these specific classifications, and just intense speculation from collectors all over the world. It's driven prices through the roof. And this chart right here shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Look at the price for a basic village wine from the Côte d'Or, and now look at the one from the Côte Chalonnaise. It's a huge difference. And here's the kicker. We're talking about the same grapes, the same essential Burgundian soul, just a way different hit to your wallet. So the big question is, how do we get around that crazy reputation tax? Well, here it is, the insider's key, the Côte Chalonnaise. Think of it as the perfect little bridge, nestled right between the famous Côte de Beaune up north and the Mâconnais down south. And hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Ask any sommelier, any wine expert. They will consistently point to this region as the absolute benchmark for value. I mean, this quote really says it all. The pinnacle of value in the vast and revered region of Burgundy. This is where amazing quality and affordability actually meet. Okay, so you're probably thinking, all right, it's cheaper, so am I sacrificing quality? And the answer is a big, emphatic no. See, the Côte Chalonnaise is literally built on the exact same geological foundation as its super famous northern neighbors. We're talking about that magical clay and limestone soil, the French call it argilo-calcaire, that makes Burgundy, well, Burgundy. So you're getting the authentic terroir, just without that eye-watering Grand Cru price tag. It is the real deal. Okay, now for the really fun part. Let's take a tour of the 5 villages. Because the Côte Chalonnaise isn't just one monolithic place. No, it's more like a mosaic of 5 totally distinct little villages, and each one has its own unique personality. So let's go meet them. Think of this table as our roadmap for the tour. You can see the 5 key appellations, the AOCs. Real simple. If you want Pinot Noir, you're looking at Mercury and Givry. If you're a Chardonnay fan, you're heading to Rilly and Montagny. And then there's this awesome outlier, Bouzeran, which is the one and only home for the Aligate grape. And pay attention to that last column, key terroir. Those subtle differences in the soil are what give each village its own vibe. Okay, let's dive into the reds first. Mercury versus Givry. These two are neighbors, but they could not be more different when it comes to Pinot Noir. Mercury has this iron-rich red clay soil, and that gives us wines that are more powerful, more structured, wines you can really lay down for a while. Givry, on the other hand, has more fragmented limestone, and its Pinots are all about elegance, bright fruit, and this gorgeous silky texture. It's like two sides of the same Burgundian coin. All right, on to the whites. And first up is Montagny, which is basically Chardonnay paradise. I mean, look at this. It's 100% white wine, all Chardonnay, all the time. The secret weapon here is its Bathonian limestone soils. This is what gives the wines that vibrant, almost electric acidity and that pure mineral character that people describe as like wet stone or chalk. It's just fantastic. And we can't leave out the other 2 white wine specialists. You've got Rouly, which is the versatile star of the show. It makes these incredible mineral-driven Chardonnays, for sure, but it also produces some of the absolute best Crémant de Bourgogne, Burgundy's sparkling wine. And then there's Bouzeran. It is completely unique. It's the only village appellation in all of Burgundy that's dedicated to the Aligoté grape. And not just any Aligoté, but the good stuff, the Aligoté Doré clone. The wine is so crisp, so citrusy, almost salty, just delicious. So we know the where, but great wine isn't just about the place, right? It's also about the people and the process. So let's talk about how the winemakers in the Chalonnaise actually craft these amazing, distinctive styles. When it comes to the white wines, the name of the game is preserving purity and freshness. It all starts with really gentle pressing. From there, the winemaker has a big decision. Do you ferment in stainless steel tanks to keep things super crisp and pure, or do you use oak barrels to add a bit more complexity? Then you get to step 3, the malolactic choice. This is huge. In a place like Montaigne, they'll often block this secondary fermentation to keep that zippy acidity. But in Roulis, they might let it happen to get a rounder, creamier texture. And finally, aging on the lees, sur lie. That's what adds that extra layer of richness and body. Now, for the Pinot Noir, the goal is always elegance over raw power. The winemakers are super careful, using really gentle techniques. Like, instead of aggressive pumping, they might manually punch down the cap of grape skins. That's called pigeage, which gently coaxes out color and flavor without any of those harsh tannins. Most of the grapes are destemmed too, just to keep the fruit characters super pure. And the oak? It's really just a supporting actor. They use a very small percentage of new oak barrels. The idea is to support the wine, not to overwhelm it. It's all about letting that beautiful, delicate fruit be the star of the show. Okay, so we've covered the place and we've covered the process. Now let's get practical. Let's make this something you can actually use. Here is your official sommelier's cheat sheet for tasting, pairing, and most importantly, buying these incredible wines. So when you pour a glass of red from the Chalonnaise, here's what you should be looking for. First, stick your nose in the glass. You should get all these bright red fruits, think cherry, raspberry, and maybe some delicate spices. Then take a sip. The magic here is the balance. You'll feel those elegant, fine tannins, but also that signature, vibrant acidity that makes your mouth water. And if you let these wines age for a few years, oh man, they develop these amazing complex sous-bois or forest floor notes. So good. And for the whites, the aromas are all about citrus, white stone fruit like peaches, and maybe a little hint of almond. But the real tell, the absolute signature, is that defining mineral streak. That's the limestone soil talking directly to you through the wine. You might taste chalk or whetstone. And the texture? It can be all over the place, in a good way. From really tense and crisp, like in Montaigne, to a little more rounded and creamy, like you might find in Roulis. Okay, but what do you eat with these wines? This table makes it super simple. Got a structured red from Mercury, that is begging for some duck or roasted meats. Have a more elegant chivery? Think poultry or veal. Those minerally whites from Roulis or Montaigne are a slam dunk with seafood or some goat cheese. And that super crisp aligoté from Bouzeron? Oh, it's perfect with oysters. Or, use it to make a classic Care cocktail. Can't go wrong. So you're ready to go shopping. Where do you even start? Well, to make sure you get the good stuff, here are a few key names to look out for. First, the icon, Domaine de Villaine. Yes, that de Villaine from Romane Conti. He's the absolute standard bearer here. Then you have Domaine Fively, a bigger powerhouse that just makes fantastic wine across the whole region. Looking for a specialist? Domaine Joblot is the master of Givry, period. And for Mercury, look for names like Michel Jouillot or Domaine Racouillet. Honestly, if you see any of these names on a bottle, just buy it. You will not be disappointed. All right, let's wrap this up by looking ahead. Because the Côte Chalonnaise isn't just a story about value. It's really about vitality. And maybe, just maybe, the future of Burgundy itself. And this is a really important point. We all know the climate is changing, right? Well, a lot of really famous, warmer wine regions are starting to struggle to keep that freshness, that acidity in their wines. But the Côte Chalonnaise, with its slightly cooler microclimates and its unique hills and valleys, is proving to be incredibly resilient. It's holding on to that acidity. And that doesn't just make it relevant today, it makes it critically important for the future of classic, balanced Burgundy wine. So, remember where we started? With that locked door, that crazy price tag on famous Burgundy? Well, consider this your key. You now have the key. You know the place, you know the villages, you know the styles, and you know the producers to look for. So really, there's only one question left. Now that you have the key, are you ready to unlock Burgundy's best-kept secret?